I'm going to tell you now, life is extremely difficult. Life is difficult for a person of color, even more so. When you start racking up convictions, when you start racking up criminal cases, all you're doing is you're making life more difficult. Life does not get easier the older you get.
Judgment sprung, in and out, the verdict swung. Oouchie car watch, we've just begun. Oouchie car watch, we're on the scene. Truths unravel, and what does it mean?
Gentlemen, do me a favor, step all the way forward to me.
Mr. Gallindo, that's you. Each of you speak English.
Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Hunter? Mr. Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson? All right, all of you guys are charged with evading arrest or detention. Each of you are facing a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, gentlemen.
Yes, Judge. The officer observed a stolen vehicle and followed it to a parking lot where it came to a stop. Then the officer in a fully marked patrol vehicle and in uniform ordered the occupants to put their hands out of the window before approaching. The vehicle immediately took off at a high rate of speed, and the officer pursued with lights and sirens activated for approximately 0.5 miles through a shopping center, nearly hitting other people in cars. The driver then lost control and ran into a pole. All occupants then jumped out of the vehicle and took off. The officer located the defendant one, Galindo, running away from the crash site, who stated he was a passenger in the vehicle. The officers were able to locate the second defendant, third defendant, and fourth defendant hiding in a house approximately 400 feet from the crash site.
Where's the fourth?
So the fourth is the juvenile, and he was the driver of the vehicle.
Who is the driver?
It's a juvenile defendant.
Juvenile was the driver.
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
yes, and then defendant one is Hunter, and he's the one that identified that the juvenile was the driver, as well as he identified the three other defendants that were in the vehicle as well.
do they know that the car was stolen?
They ran a license plate and it came back stolen, Your Honor.
I know that. How do they know the car's stolen?
Well, Your Honor, they don't necessarily need to know. They're charged with the evading. The officers were performing the investigation on the stolen vehicle, and they fled the vehicle. Once they crashed the vehicle, they all fled. That's what they're being charged with, Your Honor, is once the officer ran the license plate, the vehicle crashed, and they all scattered. They were attempting to perform a traffic stop on the vehicle once they came back stolen.
All right. Okay. Gentlemen, I'm going to find there's probable cause to go forward on each of your cases. How old are you? How old are you?
19.
How old are you?
18.
How old are you?
18.
What are you gentlemen doing with yourselves these days?
School. I'm trying to find a job, sir.
Okay. I'm going to tell you now, life is extremely difficult. Life is difficult for a person of color, even more so. When you start racking up convictions, when you start racking up criminal cases, all you're doing is you're making life more difficult. Life does not get easier the older you get. It gets more difficult. You lose hair, you get bigger, you get fatter, you get uglier. Life doesn't get easier. And if you don't have an education, if you don't have a good job, you're going to end up with a perpetual number on your back. Knowledge is power. Convictions, it's not the way to go. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to make sure that you guys are going to straighten up and fly right with me. And if I don't, I will put you on my knee like a little child, and I'm going to spank you like a little child, but I'll do it with a ton of jail time. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
As of today, I'm sending you each for a drug test because I want to know what you're going to test positive for. And I'm going to tell you now, no smoking marijuana, no using illegal drugs, no using alcohol. And if I find that you violate this, into jail you go, and you will not get any more PR bonds. Do each of you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you graduate from high school, Mr. Galindo? We are going to work on that with you now. You cannot go through life without, at a minimum, a high school education. You start toying with me, you start playing with me, you will be getting that education with me in there, and it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you graduate from high school? We will work on that as well. Did you graduate from high school? You guys are ending up nowhere fast. I also am ordering you not to hang out with the juvenile in this case as well. I don't want you hanging out with each other because it may seem that each of you are a bad influence on each other. Not anymore. Do you understand? What we're going to do is are any parents here today? Coming up, guys. If you don't mind standing with.
Gentlemen, you have to real quick, step to the side this way a little bit. So that way I can be in.
Thank you each for coming. I really appreciate that you guys are here. I will do everything in my power to keep the cost as low as possible for you. I will give each of your sons a lawyer today. I'm going to drug test them because I want to make sure that they're going to be clean. If they test positive for anything, I'm going to give them a pass today. But I'm saying, and I'm going to give them another drug test. If they test positive for marijuana, they will be drug tested again in about 45 days because that should be enough time for them to stop and flush it out of the system. If they test positive, that tells me that they've continued to smoke and I'm going to light them up. The next thing I'm going to do is I want them to get in school so that they get their high school diploma. You're 19, you should be getting at a minimum a high school diploma because you will make pennies to the dollar. For everyone else that's making $1, you will make 10 cents without a minimum, a high school diploma. And if you don't, and if you toy with me, likewise, I'm just gonna lock you up. Do each of you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do is, what we normally do here is we set the cases around 2 to 2.5 weeks to give them time to start researching, getting into a GED program or getting back into high school.
Yes,
Okay.
6 months left.
Okay, you're in high school now, or where are you at?
He's in high school.
You're a senior.
Mhm.
Great. So you're in high school now, a senior. Fantastic. It is a part of your bond condition that you stay in school. I'm also giving you a curfew. What time did this happen? I'm going to give you a curfew. Nothing good happens at 1 a.m. You are not allowed to go out, and I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know where you are at all times. Do you understand?
This occurred at 10 p.m.
Okay, 9 p.m. is your curfew. Unless, moms, you tell me something that you want differently,
You got
I'm
it.
all with you. I will
got
do
it.
whatever you want. I'm gonna waive fees for everything so that nothing's gonna come out of your pocket, okay? Like I said, I'll give them lawyers now. I'm gonna send them off for a drug test now. We'll have them come back. We'll find out what the results are. I'll let you know and we'll go from there. Okay? So if you can appoint all of them lawyers now, we'll just have them take a seat. Felicia, if you don't mind sending them, when we get back, we'll. What about, ma'am, is he in high school now? And senior as well?
Yep.
Or where?
In OAC right now.
Is he actively enrolled?
Yes, yes.
Are you actively going?
I'm actively enrolled in my home school.
In getting your high school diploma? I want proof. I'm not gonna take your word for it. You understand? Okay, all right. Hang tight for me.
Judge, same conditions for each?
All of them.
Carmel Robinson. You sent him for drug test and he
THC, Judge?
came back positive for THC, but we already knew that.
Okay, so let him know he gets tested again in 45. You get tested again in 45 days. You pick up a new case, you start acting out of line, you're gonna stay with me. And I'm telling you, jail is not fun for a young one. Do you understand? Imagine your worst nightmare. It's worse. Okay, all right, Carl.
Judge, you gave him a curfew from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I talked to him and he indicated it's not a problem. His parents apparently,
where's mom?
she's not here, he's in the building somewhere, but they indicated that to the pretrial officer that might be a problem, so. Could we do?
Say it again?
They indicated to the pretrial officer that may be a problem, so I'm not sure why.
Okay, if you find mom, let me know, and I'll talk to mom.
You work also? 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. is fine. Shouldn't be a problem.
All
I
right,
mean, have a
good,
seat,
man.
have a seat. Doc, how are you?
Hunter's Nelson is the last of the young group that all went tested for the evading.
Come on up, Mr. Hunter.
I've actually already admonished him everything, Judge. He knows about.
So what did he test positive for, Felicia?
THC, Judge.
No smoking weed.
Yes, sir.
Do not have anything that has weed in it. Do not hang out with people who are smoking. I don't care if you come in here and say, well, I was in a car and everybody else was smoking and that's how. Excuses go in this here and they go out that here.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Make yourself into something. Knowledge is power.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck.
About
See
45
you.
days.
45 days. I'm gonna test you again. Come up. Are you, who are you? Are you, come on up. You can come too. Why on two different sides? You embarrassed to be with your mom? Oh, okay.
I separate
Got it.
family and spectators.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Hardy. Mr. Hardy, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. Shh. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On November 22nd, 2024, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle parked more than 18 inches from a curb on a public roadway in the right lane of a two-way road in Harris County, Texas. While the officer ran the motor vehicle, the passenger side door opened, a black female exited, and the female approached the patrol vehicle. The officer made contact with the female and observed a strong odor of marijuana emanating from the female. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver of the vehicle, and observed a strong odor of marijuana and had the defendant exit the motor vehicle. A PC search was conducted and the officer located 3.5 in the driver's side door and one blue package with Oops All Berry on the front containing green leafy substance on the rear driver's side floorboard, one red package with Fruity Pebbles on the front containing a green leafy substance in the back seat, and two clear plastic baggies containing green leafy substance under the front right passenger seat. The officer also observed one burnt marijuana cigar behind the front passenger seat and one small chunk of loose green leafy substance in between the driver's seat and the door. The green leafy substance was identified as marijuana based on training experience, and the weight was 54 grams or 1.9 ounces.
He was doing what that was wrong?
So he was parked more than 18 inches from the curb on the right lane of a two-way road. So he was out.
On earth are you gonna know that you're parking more than 18 inches? What time of day or night was this?
Your Honor.
Is it parking while black now? Come on.
Yeah.
Your Honor, there's no time listed. It just says the officer was on patrol around the 3518 block of Arbor Glen Drive when he observed the vehicle parked more than 18 inches from the curb.
And so he goes up to the car because of that?
No, Your Honor, a female passenger side exited the passenger side and approached their vehicle, and he observed a marijuana.
Oh,
from
but
the
because
vehicle.
he comes up to them. Right? Stop. Are you losing?
The officer wrote as he ran the vehicle, presumed the license plate.
Right, he pulls him over.
They were already parked on the side of the road 18 inches from the curb, and he came, I guess, parked behind, and he was running the vehicle, and then the passenger side door opened, a black female exited and approached his vehicle, the patrol vehicle, and he observed an odor of marijuana on the female, and then he made contact with the driver, where he observed marijuana odor in the vehicle. So the female approached the patrol vehicle.
Show me in the penal code that code. What is the penal code for that?
Regarding the 18 inches from the curb, sir, is that the
Yeah.
issue of what we're talking about?
Yeah, because they come to him because he comes to them. Right, they're just parked. he comes to them. It's got to be a transportation code, not penal code, you know?
In Your Honor, regarding the timeline of events, it does appear that when they were parked that distance away, which could be arguably further, I don't know what it looked like at that time, but the female passenger is the one who exited first, and that was before officers ever made contact with them. So I don't know if you were thinking that the officers approached them first, but I just wanted to clarify that she approached first.
What time of day or night was this?
Trying to see that, Your Honor, in a second. At 4 in the morning.
And Your Honor, I
4 in the
found,
morning.
4:30.
Yeah.
And you can delineate at 4 in the morning that parking 18 inches from a curb.
and I found the regulation, the statute in the
Mhm.
transportation code where it says you have to park within 18 inches.
At 4 in the morning, you can tell.
Your Honor, the officer was,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't think so. All right, I'm gonna find no probable cause.
Yes,
All
Judge.
Guys, be careful, right? You know, they're always out there. Just be careful, do something with your life. Knowledge is power. Get into school, get an education, do something with your life. Life is hard as it is. And it only gets more difficult the older you get, all right? Okay, guys, please.
And we'll be sure to call the officer on this case to
Whatever you need.
understand why he did in fact pull them over for this amount of space.
You speak English, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Resendez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 8th, 2023, officers were dispatched to a crash located at the 9500 block of West St. Houston Parkway. Upon arrival, the officers observed the defendant's truck stopped in a moving lane of traffic with a flat tire and fender damage. The defendant was standing outside the vehicle, but admitted to drinking and driving that evening. The officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot eyes, glossy eyes, and a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage. Standard field sobriety tests were administered, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 2 out of 8, one leg stand 0 out of 4. The defendant consented to giving a breath sample, and the results were .074 and .073.
Mr. Resendez, I'm going to find one. It's already been found before probable cause. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. Your case is 450 days old. If you take off on me again, I'm going to make your bond so high, your head is going to be spinning. Do you understand? Does he have a valid Texas driver license? Can you check?
All right, Your Honor.
If you do not have a Texas driver license, you are not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond as well. Do you understand? All right, we are going to reset your case, give you time to hire a lawyer, but that's it. The next time you come here, it's get ready because I'm going to set your case for trial because your case is nearly.
It does, Your Honor.
All right. You sure?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. As long as you cannot drive unless you have liability insurance in your name as well. Do you understand? All right, I'm going to have you meet. We'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you get with Fleischer for your bond conditions. Then you're free to go.
Hi, can we approach Judge?
I'm approaching on Quinn, QUIN. He's on bond today. He has a BDR.
Will it show anything? Okay.
So he has a 10 o'clock curfew. The big issue is that he works, and I have his time sheet. It's not as smooth as I thought. Where he clocks out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he just, the distance, he just can't get home. But he's he works.
Where's he working?
So we extend.
Okay, you want to do 10:30?
I think that's.
Okay, is he here? Where-
Do you want me to call him up?
Mr. Quinn, come on up.
He's doing what you asked, Judge. He's got a job. He just.
So you're working?
Yes, sir.
Hey, good job. You know, I'm happy that you're working. Do you need more time to be able to get home? What's a good time? Like how long does it take you to get home from?
It takes like at least like 25 to 30 minutes.
Is that right, Anna? Is it that far? How do you get home?
I walk or I Uber home.
Okay. You want to do 10:30, 10:45? The 10:45 is the latest.
Okay.
Okay. And what days do you work?
I work, it depends. Cause now it was that during that time it was seasonal.
But now you're on full time?
No, I'm on full time, but now they're cutting the hours to like 8 or 9 hours. So it'd be like eight hours a week or so.
But it's not consistent where you work Monday and Wednesday.
No,
Why don't you look for something more steady? I'll give you more hours.
And you're in school, right?
Yes.
He's in school.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
We'll give you the 12:45, okay?
Okay.
All right.
but I thought I was supposed to be off by next time I come.
Be off what?
The ankle monitor.
So he's gonna have to see that you're.
I want to see that you're still doing well after a while, and then when you are, then we'll do it.
Okay.
All right? All right, man.
Judge,
All right.
could you repeat that curfew for me?
10:45.
10:45 to 6?
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Anna. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Then I just have Martinez.
Okay. Come up, Mr. Martinez.
Page 11.
And it's BVR. I do have some documentation of some stuff, and he did contact.
I am so unhappy with you, Mr. Martinez. I don't think I can even freaking see straight. You have a theft of a firearm, a driving while intoxicated, a failure to identify oneself to a peace officer as a fugitive from justice, a theft case, an evading case. And I put strict bond conditions on you, and now you're here with a violation. Enlighten me, Greg.
So if I'm not, I don't have the BVR in front of me.
Let me give it to you. Hold on.
If I'm not mistaken, however, the dates are the 23rd and 26th. Is that correct? Roughly?
I gave him a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, and he got home at 10 o'clock on one day. And then another day, he took off as well.
Okay, so it does say here after he did go to the bail bondsman, okay? And he contacted them, let them know. So he was on his way home. So, I mean, are they trying to ding him for a 9:36, 9:48 stop on the way home?
I think that there's plenty of times in the day that you can go visit your bail bondsman. It's not you don't have to go at 10 o'clock at night.
I don't drive. I can't drive. And my wife gets out at 7:30. She picks up the kids, and then I told her to take me, and that's the only time
I've got concrete evidence right here on a GPS monitor.
He's saying his wife drove him to the bail bonds, and then they were on their way home.
Yeah, but I call every time. And
then he didn't take off. It was an issue with his boot, and he did contact them, and they sent him a text to report to 49 San Jacinto to have the device inspected by a technician, and he responded to them, and he went in to get it correct. He wasn't trying to cut it off. He wasn't trying to break it.
That's not the issue. The issue is that he's staying out late.
He went to the bail bondsman. He was going home.
He's not supposed to go. He has a curfew of 9 p.m. That's it. I don't care if you're going to visit Jesus. A curfew is a curfew, and you're supposed to stick to the curfew.
When did you get out?
That's it.
It was like 2 weeks ago, baby.
Can you download the
So
rest of
this
the
is when you
data?
got out on bond?
That was the
Alicia,
Any dates, man? What time, when did you get out of them?
download the rest of the data. I'd like to see what else is going on with him.
For
was-
the violation?
It was
date?
December 14th,
No,
15th.
no, since, I guess,
Still on 12/19?
since December, how's he been
It was-
otherwise?
I can do that very soon.
Take us.
What'd you do at that time?
That was the one time that
Nice. I'm gonna let you,
she gets like 7:30. That's why.
Yeah, but why'd you go that time?
Greg,
Cause that's one.
at the line, could you guys talk about it? Take a seat for me in the jury box,
Okay.
please. Eric.
Where's your wife? Mr. Martinez again, Your Honor. So I spoke to his wife. At the time, he wasn't working. I asked, why didn't you take an Uber? Explained to him, bail bondsman does not take priority over the curfew. Court's orders are number one. I believe it was a misunderstanding. He didn't have a job. Money was tight. I asked him, that's why he couldn't Uber. His wife is here. She does say that they went to the bail bondsman. That's even here. He called immediately. He understands what is
Let's do this.
expected of him.
Let's send him for a drug and alcohol test right now. And then I also want to pull up the rest of his records to see how else he's been as well.
I will send them over.
Okay, I want to send him for a drug and alcohol test right now, see if he's been behaving himself. And then what we'll do is I'm gonna roll it tomorrow. He's gotta be back tomorrow and we'll figure out the
Well, you
results.
mean
Because I don't think it'll be enough time for him to come
Thursday
Or
or Friday
Thursday.
or whatever days.
Thursday.
It's all mixed together. Okay. So is he good to go?
No, we're gonna send him and then we'll get him back. And
He is
then,
working now, Your Honor. He got a job, started last Monday. And so he understands the curfew part today.
I'm not letting him off the hook yet. I want to know what
Okay.
the drug and alcohol test show.
Yes.
He's here now, yeah.
And then page 19, Williams. He's here. Did Will approach via Zoom? Did I miss something?
No.
Okay, I'll call her real quick.
Hey, Greg,
Hey, Judge.
what's the word?
Mr. Martinez is back.
Martinez.
So it's more presumptive for THC, benzodiazepines, and cocaine.
But I haven't done those, sir. Like I haven't.
Sorry, Charlie, goes with you. Sorry, Greg,
What was the third one, Judge?
cocaine,
Oh, okay.
that's it.
What is the reset date, Your Honor?
He'll pop up on tomorrow's docket.
So Thursday or Friday, whatever.
So
it is.
yeah, he'll pop up on Thursday's docket. I'm gonna revoke the bonds. I don't know what they're set at now.
I'm in your court Thursday, so sounds good, Judge. I'll
Yep.
be there. All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thanks, dude.
Yeah, have a happy New Year, Judge. Thank you.
You too. Hey, have a great New Year. Sorry, bud.
That's, all right, bye.
For what it's, hey, Greg, for what it's
Yeah.
worth, for what it's worth, I was gonna let him slide, on the, but.
On the marijuana, yeah, I get it.
No,
I
no, no, no,
understand.
no, no, on the fact that he's going to a bonding company at 9, whatever, but you're
Gotcha.
testing positive for cocaine and benzos, forget about it. No way. Just,
Okay.
okay. All right, bud, have a great New Year.
Okay, you too. Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Dismiss
Dismiss
Ms.
Vessel.
Vessel.
And so these were her local cases we're resolving with time served, and she has a fugitive case. that,
You representing her on the fugitive?
Yes, Judge, and so she has a waiver on file, and so we're just trying to get the 14 days started.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Vessel. You're charged with failure to identify oneself as a fugitive from justice, so it elevates it to Class A, so you're facing up to a year in jail and a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 19 days credit for the 19 that you've done. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you cannot change this. What was the mischief? Window, car, tire.
It looks like a windshield and a car radio.
So how do you plead to this offense? Guilty or not guilty? Well, if you're not guilty, then we set you for trial.
So
Did you actually mischief?
I plead guilty.
No, 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 no. This isn't a game, Ms. Vessel. If you're guilty, then you plead. If you're not guilty, then don't plead guilty. If you didn't break anything, then
Plead guilty, sir.
did you actually break something?
I plead guilty, sir.
You,
It's been so long, I don't even remember what happened. Honestly, it's been 3 years ago. I don't remember what happened.
something's wrong.
It's from it's an offense dated January of 2022, Judge.
Oh, right. That's fine.
It was a bond forfeiture, Judge. Or actually, it was just as a 2B, in 2B status.
The argument started between her and the complaining witness while she was taking the defendant to a bus stop. During this argument, the defendant began to kick the vehicle radio with her left foot, causing it to break.
Yes, sir.
That's what this case is about.
Yes, sir.
Was it worth it?
So, no, sir, it was not.
I would say that probably 99% of the people who are in jail now, because no self-control. They get upset, they wig out, and they just unleash without thinking of consequence. That's why we have jails. If you get upset, you calm, cool, collective, and I bet you, had you just walked away and just, you know what? You probably would have made that person so mad because you act calm, cool, collective, and just, that's it. Be the better person. Just walk away. Because now you've been in jail here for 19 days, another 2 weeks now because you got this fugitive case over there. Self-control. So how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. As part, they're going to dismiss that new case, right? The failure to ID?
The fugitive case.
All right.
I'm not the failure to ID, fugitive from justice.
This vessel, self-control. All right, good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Jim.
Oouchie, watch, we're on the scene. Truths unravel, and what does it mean? In the halls where stories clash, Oouchie, watch quick as a flash.